Physically, like in the office, like come in and twirl for me, Don.
It wasn't a twirl for me, but it was not in the office.
You can
but
stop it at this point.
This
all
guy
You can stop it
is such a freaking like.
Okay,
Hang on.
but what do you think,
Tom? What?
Andrew? What do you think?
That's he was getting assaulted. Like,
In this video, Andrew Schulz sits down with Patrick Bet-David on the PBD Podcast. Andrew Schulz and Patrick Bet-David discuss Don Lemon's recent embarrassing appearance on Bill Maher's show, the Club Random Podcast. With that, let's watch Andrew Schulz clown on the staggeringly irrelevant Don Lemon.
Transition into a normal
All right,
story.
go ahead.
Don Lemon says women at CNN sexually harassed him,
I love this.
including one who touched his nipples.
I love this.
Okay,
Jeez.
Rob,
Talk
play
that shit.
Play the clip.
that
Rob.
shit.
Go for it. Go ahead.
I've been harassed by women and men in the work, and some things are not even. It's ridiculous. Now look,
Tell us. I'm very interested.
There are some things that
No. I'm interested in this.
there are some things that are really egregious, right? And
Like?
not everything is Harvey Weinstein level. And
No, that's rape.
And then some of the that's a whole different story. I'm not talking about that, and I'm not saying it makes it right, but. I remember when I was in Atlanta and was in the cafeteria, commissary, whatever.
At
you wanna call it,
CNN?
at CNN. And this woman, young lady, tweaked my nipples and said, "Oh, it's cold in here."
Oh.
And I said, "Okay, you realize if I did that, they'd be walking me out the door right now." But I didn't care. I didn't go to HR. I didn't say anything because I was just like, it's a double standard.
Good
It's
for
fine.
you.
Yeah,
Who gives
and also, but I never told this story
What
as
a
well.
pussy.
Someone who I
This
worked
guy's a
with
legend. Hold on.
Yeah.
also harassed me at CNN, and I never went to management. First of all, I was so
a man
new
or
there,
a woman?
a woman, and she knew I was gay, and it was just bizarre. She was going through a divorce. It was just weird, and I never went to management. First of all, I thought like, okay, they may find a way to get rid of me because if I tell this story, I don't know if they're going to believe me or not. But then she was so mean to me after that. I was like, I should have told the story. But yeah, I've been harassed by men and women.
But what constituted this harassment? Like, what did you?
Sorry, guys, I had to stop here. There's so much good stuff here. So I think the excuse CNN gave to get rid of Don Lemon was that he was a misogynist because he made some comment about women in their prime or whatever. So he became the thing that he railed against forever. So I think Don Lemon is taking this very rare opportunity for him where he goes on a show that people actually watch to try to change his image to the liberal losers that he probably got backlash from when he was being accused of being called a misogynist. You see what he's doing? Now he's the victim. We've just heard one story so far, and hopefully we're about to hear a second, but let me know in the comments, does a woman tweaking your nipples and saying it's cold in here constitute sexual harassment? I'll give you a hint to what my answer is. No. Some guys, in fact, probably pay good money for a woman to pinch her nipples and say, ooh, it's cold in here. But dude, say what you want about Bill Maher. His response really spoke for everyone on earth, unless you're an insane, far left, crazy person. Don Lemon, all magnanimous, is like, but I didn't go to management. And Bill Maher goes, good for you, because who gives a shit? Oh my God. Sorry, I don't like a lot about Bill Maher, but he just gained some points with me on that one. Oh my God. Don Lemon needs to hear what normal people think about the stuff that comes out of his mouth. Why would you go to management? Anyway, let's get back to video.
Physically, like in the office, like come in and twirl for me, Don.
It wasn't a twirl for me, but it was not in the office.
You can
but
stop it at this point.
This
all.
guy
You can stop it
is such a freaking like.
Okay,
Hang on.
but what do you think,
Tom? What?
Andrew? What do you think?
That's rape. That's rape. He was getting assaulted. Like that. I love this. Men need to talk more about this. Think about it. He's a gay guy. The idea of a woman touching his nipples is repulsive. You're a straight guy. Imagine a gay guy coming up to you, rubbing your nipples. You'd be like, yo, what the fuck is going on here? That's sexual assault. That is sexual assault, and that woman should be put in jail for years. I think she should be put in jail for. We should find out who that vicious woman is that's raping people at CNN.
Woman.
I love this. I think more men need to speak out at the sexual assault that we experience on
I
an
would
every
look-
day.
Schulz,
for
no
real.
one is going to listen. No one's
wait.
gonna care. No one gives a shit if a man.
There's three
is
stages of
harassed.
truth.
Okay.
Kelly-
Okay. And nobody's gonna. Nobody. Hold on, Vinny. Nobody's gonna believe this.
At first, you're ridiculed.
I guess we didn't get the details of the second story, but you could tell Bill was trying to stay composed and not be like, you're a complete crazy person, and trying to let Don Lemon dig his own grave, because he goes, what did they do? Say like, come in here, sweetheart, and twirl for me. And Don didn't even smirk at that. He's taking this very seriously and trying to pretend like any of this bothered him at all. He goes, well, it wasn't a come in here and twirl for me situation. I'm sorry. I don't think those words have ever been meant to be said in a sentence that's not loaded with levity. Now, Andrew's angle is fantastic because he's not focusing on Don. He's focusing on the hypocrisy, because as much as I know that this is an absolute non-story, Andrew's taking a great angle here. He's saying we've got all these female sexual predators out there that want equal rights. That woman needs to be locked up, because as we know, women want equal rights for all the fun stuff, but not the inconvenient stuff like, you know, being charged with sexual harassment or grape or being drafted into the military. But they want to be the CEOs, though. That they definitely want to be. They're boss babes. Now, I think they could take this conversation even further and continue to highlight how stupid it is, but also how you could get Don Lemon in trouble even more with this. Because if you're looking at this from a far left point of view, these women that sexually assaulted him, he didn't go to management. So now there are two rabid female rapists running around CNN, and Don had the power to stop them and not let them ever hurt anyone again. Now, everything I just said would be very serious if this was actually a sexual assault, but instead you can make, to the far left lunatics, Don Lemon look like he had the opportunity to be a hero and stop this horrible sexual assault. This whole thing is like a comedy skit. If I did a Saturday Night Live skit of this conversation, you'd be like, that's a little over the top. So stupid. Anyway, let's get back to the video.
Let me tell you something. Who gives a shit
Then you're
about
gay, and that is the truth.
Let me tell you, because you know this has happened to you. Remember Tuesday night, we were at the cigar lounge.
Yeah.
That was my buddy Mikey.
Put a cigar right in your ass.
There it was.
Nobody did anything.
Nobody gave a shit.
Nobody gave a shit.
That night I go to dinner. Some pop
You
star.
were walking funny. I saw that.
That's true.
Yeah, he was.
Some pop star
Well,
from
the
the
cigar
80s.
was lit.
Some pop star from the 80s is sitting at our table at dinner with a
my
bunch of
God.
group friends. She's like, who are you? Oh my God. Starts grabbing my chest,
Whoa.
touching me. And I was like, I'll take your old ass in the back room and bang you right now. Like, joking with her.
But you're straight.
But if a man, of course, if
So
a
it's
man
fine.
was,
Well-
if a man sitting down and a woman starts grabbing her, the point is the crowd is laughing because she's touching me and feeling me and we're joking around. You know that's not going to happen if it's the other way around. Here's another example. Your 16-year-old son bangs his
It just happened.
his
Rob, pull
10th
it
grade
up.
teacher.
15-year-old
Yo,
teacher.
you're the man, bro.
Teachers are always hot.
The
too.
10th
If you like watching videos like this one, like and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. Let's get back to the video.
grade girl that had sex with a teacher,
Rapist.
that guy's going to jail.
Yeah.
It's completely double standards.
All right, what about-
And by the way,
what
no one
about-
gives a shit.
What about the
That's the way it is.
10th grade dude?
This really pissed off Adam.
Yeah, you're really upset. What'd that girl
Was
do?
it
to you,
that
man?
Samantha Fox?
Passes through
nipples.
3
Was
stages.
that
Yeah,
Samantha
yeah.
Fox? Was
I don't know.
Wow.
But let's pretend that.
Touch me.
Let's not.
Touch me. Touch me now.
It was.
Who was it? And we got to get
I'm not
it.
going to put her out there because she'll get arrested because it
You're
was
one
that
man army
extreme.
against
Was it
statutory
first three
rape.
letters
But Schultz,
M-A-D?
you know this
Yeah.
as being a celebrity. I've seen girls throwing panties on stage. Women run up to you
Nobody's
and
throwing
try to
panties.
talk
It's
to you
not-
all the time. You're not calling the cops because a girl wants to get close to you. Women will do this. You know what happens to you.
Yeah, but the real reason is because you could defend yourself. Like that's why we take it more serious when a guy does it to a girl than when a girl does it to a guy. Because like you could take that little '80s pop star and you could just throw her over a table. Like it's not a big deal. So you could
I'm trying to
stand up
figure
for
out,
yourself.
Is this 80s pop star Boy George? Who
was the, yeah, who was the?
If it was
This is all hilarious, by the way. Andrew's kind of hit or miss for me on comedy sometimes, but when he said the 80s pop star put a cigar right up Adam's ass, that's pretty funny. But as much as they're joking here, they bring up a great point. Andrew Schulz says, well, because a guy can defend himself from a woman that's getting too close, potentially assaulting him, putting him in danger, whatever. Now, this puts the left in a real bind because if they acknowledge that, and that's why there's a disparity in people calling the police for what's considered sexual assault, then the left has to admit that there's differences between men and women. Do you see the quandary they're now in? But ultimately, the takeaway from this should be that's what the left has done to our society, made all these arbitrary rules and changed reality to fit their little world utopia. And it just doesn't work when there are serious issues on the table. I'm going to let out a secret that a lot of you may not know, but men are stronger than women. Don't cancel me over it. But we want to hear from you. What do you all think about Don Lemon's interview with Bill Maher? And what do you think about Andrew Schulz and Patrick Bet-David and the gang and all of their comments on the interview? Let us know in the comments. Anyway, as always, really appreciate you watching, and we will see you on the next one.